evening, everybody, and welcome to the Metal Magdalene with Jet right here on Metal Messiah Radio. Tonight we have a special guest with us back on the show. We have David Ingram of Benediction. Welcome back to the show, Dave.
Hi, hello everybody, and Jet, thank you for having me back on the show. It's always a pleasure.
So like I mentioned, much to the delight of many of his fans, David here is back with Benediction. So Dave, tell us what events kind of led up to you getting back in the band like this.
Well, it goes back about 4 months. The band contacted me. It was the bass player, Daniel. Mm-hmm. He wrote me on Facebook and asked if I could get in touch with the guitarist, Darren. And I actually thought, well, what's this about? Maybe it's sort of something to do with back catalogues, or I've got to sign something. But apparently, at that time, the singer, their old singer, Dave Hunt, was going to be taking some time out of the band for about 3 months. He was going to be working on his PhD. Mm-hmm. So they asked me, would I come and do some gigs with them, just, as a temporary thing. It'd be something very special for the fans. And I said, yeah, sure, that would be great. And then as time went on, about a week later, Darren spoke with me again. He actually called me, and it was funny to see his number show up on my phone. I was like, wow. And before I answered, I quickly showed it to my wife and son, and they said, if they're asking you to join, do it. So I took the phone number, took the phone call, and Darren said that Dave couldn't commit to the next album and for as many gigs, plus he wanted to spend some more time with his other band, Anal Nachak, or however you pronounce it, I really don't know. So would I rejoin full time? And of course I agreed. I got the green light from the family, and so here we are. And we've kept it a secret all this time. There's a few people who knew, and I actually did give it away on my radio show, my own show that I do. I was talking about, there's this band that I'm working with. I can't say who it is, but it's a secret. And anyway, let's get on with the show. And I immediately played a Benediction song. And nobody got it. Nobody picked up on that at all. So.
Oh my God. So tell us a little bit about your history with Benediction, like when you first joined them back in the 90s, and what was that whole first round in Benediction like for you, Dave?
Oh, sorry, I was drinking, and not beer, actually. It's only sort of 2 o'clock in the afternoon here. It was 1990, I believe, August, and I was out with the band I was in at the time, a band called Plague HDC, and we were out because the singer of that band was going away for 6 months, and we went into a bar, a place called the Costermongers, which is my favourite pub in the entire world. And it's reopened. It was closed for some years. It's reopened again at the moment. So I'm very happy every time I go to England. Anyway, we went into there and we saw a few members of Benediction sitting at the table. And I asked them, what's the matter? And they said, well, we've had to get rid of Barn. We had to give him a choice, Napalm Death or Benediction, because we've got gigs. So we're looking for a new singer. And they actually asked the singer from my band, who was going away for 6 months. So he couldn't do it. So I said, I'll audition. And they said, come to this place at whatever time at the weekend. And I did, and a week later they told me I'd got the job.
So what were those early days like for you guys? Playing shows and recording and all that kind of thing? Here's a thing that kind of like, for you at least, was...
Yeah, we definitely cut our chops by doing the mini tours around England in the back of a van cramped up with all the equipment. We did that for a long time, and it was about... We'd recorded the Grand Leveler album, written and recorded that, but we hadn't released it. But we went out on tour because we were offered this really cool headlining tour of our own, which was on a shoestring budget. And, we went out on tour, and we had this great time in Europe, and we were playing a lot of the newer stuff as well. And it was sort of half and half with the set. And people were really reacting to it. They didn't know it at all, but they loved it, and it gave us a real confidence boost. Not that was really needed because we were always drunk, but and it was such a great time. And the 90s, the whole my first tenure, the 8 years I was with Benediction before, the whole time there were bad times as well. There always are with bands, but I'm at the age now, 50, that I focus on the good things, the positive things, and I remember everything that was so much fun back then.
And it's like you said, back in those days, we were also footloose and fancy free and just having a great time. Now we worry about shit and stuff.
Well, I actually said this to Darren the other day, that I worry about the little things and let the big things sort themselves out. So
there you go. That's a good way of thinking.
That's my philosophy anyway, or one of them.
So now that you're back in the band, what are some of the things that the band is doing? I mean, are you going to be writing more music with them? Have you gotten together since the announcement?
Yes, and yes. I think, we're pretty much balls deep into writing a new album. I've got about 7 songs that I've written, with the lyrics, 7 sets of lyrics so far. There's about 3 or 4 more that I'm writing. There's also 3 that Dave Hunt wrote, and the guy said, well, why don't you just rewrite them? And I think, no, I don't want to do that, because it was Dave wrote them, and he was still a member of the band, and a couple of the songs have been performed live, and I think one of them has actually been recorded already. So I don't want to change them. I may give them a bit of a makeover, but I'm certainly not going to delete all the lyrics and then start again. Plus, when I was reading them, there's a couple of changes I'll make, but nothing major. And I could see that how Dave Hunt wrote them, it's very similar to my style of writing, so it sort of fits perfectly. And I have a proposed album title. I can't give it away, I'm afraid, sorry. But it's very apt, and for this situation as well. So if that comes to pass, then people will understand.
So we'll be looking forward to that. Do you know what your show will be, your first show back?
I believe it's Germany. It's a place called Bochum in Germany, and it's the 24th or 23rd of August. It's that weekend. It's a festival, I believe, that we're headlining some festival there. Or at least we're playing on the festival. I don't know if we're headlining. But there is one festival somewhere that we're headlining.
But you had mentioned that you had already did a couple of shows with them when you were already filling in.
No, that was proposed.
Oh, okay. All right.
But then, because they got sort of those shows were Dave Hunt managed to do.
Okay.
And then there was going to be a sort of a few months gap, and I think it's about 2 months gap. And then it would be my first one. So in those 2 months, it's when I should go over. I have been over already and rehearsed with them and hung out and been in the Costermongers pub. And yeah, we've the chemistry was there from the immediate moment that we got in the room. And it's strange, I had the lyrics with me. And it was only some of the newer numbers, the ones I didn't write, that were on the 2 albums that I didn't appear on, that I had difficulty with. All the old numbers just came flooding back straight away. So that's good. I don't need as many lyrics on stage.
No. So that show in Germany then is going to be your grand reappearance.
Yes.
So, since you've been gone from Benediction, it's not like you hadn't been doing anything musically. So tell us a little bit about some of what you got, you've been doing over the past, 20 years musically, some of?
Yeah. Well, I say over 20 years, well, people know about my time in Bolt Thrower. There was 6 years, almost 6 years there. And after that came a band, Downlord, which was about 3 or 4 years. And we'd achieved everything we wanted to, released a couple of albums, done a tour, and we were just happy to call it a day. Myself and the guitarist from that band wanted to do internet radio. So we began doing that. Occasionally I'd sort of foray back into music by a band would ask me to do guest vocals on a song, and I'd do that. But then it was 2013, and Roger Johansson, the beginning of the year, Roger Johansson contacted me to do a guest vocal spot, and I said, why don't we do a band as well? And we did. That was the beginning of Down Among the Dead Men. There's 3 albums later, and we're still going. We're still going to record another one as well. There's also a band, Echelon, again with Roger Johansson. That's got 2 albums, and we're planning a third already. Roger's even written some some music for it.
Nice.
And there's Sinner with Johnny Peterson. I was in a band with him just before Dawn as well. But we're doing Sinner, hopefully doing a second album. I haven't spoken to Johnny for a while, but he will also be mixing the Hell, Frost and Fire album. That's another project that I'm doing, which will be, at the moment we're waiting for Scott Fairfax from Memoriam. He's doing guitar solos for us on the album.
So you guys would kind of do a couple of little things together, don't you?
Yeah, we do, and also I've done that As the World Dies project. I did a song with them as well. So yeah, it's nice to sort of help each other out.
Yeah.
Basically, have fun, and that's what we do. And that's what we're here on this planet for, having fun.
I see a lot of your pictures, and you do have fun, David, when you're out there.
Oh yeah.
And Carl had mentioned Troikadon again. I'm sure that's still...
That is definitely still on the go right now because Cam is writing the lyrics to his sections, and I'm basically waiting for him to have written his part so then I can write mine. And he's got Massacre back on the boil. He's got some personal things going on too. So I totally understand. So and now me with Benediction, everyone's busy. But we will be making time for it. People just have to be patient. These things, when there's 3 vocalists, the schedules are going to clash, and they do quite often.
And now you're all in active touring type bands, so we're gonna have to wait even longer.
Well, yeah, but we are trying not to make it too long. Not at all. But I think in the last, since 2013, how long is that? 6 years? I've released 7 albums.
I know, it's crazy. I keep seeing it. I've been a DJ that whole time, and I keep seeing all your stuff popping up. So like I said, you certainly have not just been not doing nothing in between for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy being busy, and there are so many times. I mean, there's also a magazine I write an article for. It's not out yet. It comes out on Halloween, actually.
Oh, cool.
And I'm writing a piece for, and there's a couple of other projects that people have asked me to do vocals on, and I have this thing, I can't say no to doing work.
Right.
And there are times I look at myself in the mirror and go, you just need to calm down and have a break. Just sit down and drink a beer and learn to say no. But I just can't. I just enjoy doing what I do so much.
I could understand that 100%. I do that all the time. Like, I'm going to take the whole month of August off and just enjoy life. And then something comes up, I can't say no. I'm the same exact way. Because I enjoy it. You know, you enjoy it and you're like, oh, I have to do this. It'll be so much fun. And, and then next thing you know, you haven't had a vacation in 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. And next week, I've got my summer vacation from work. But I'm actually taking half days. So I've got to work a full shift in half the time and then have my vacation for the other half. It's because I need to go away with Benediction and I can't take a full day. This week, I can't take full days off. I need to save my vacation days. So, I'm going to be... It's not much of a vacation, but it's only 1 week. I can manage.
That's going to be crazy. That's the farthest thing from a vacation.
Yeah. And also, I mean, getting up, I get up at 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so, and then it's like 3:30 in the morning, full shift in 3 hours, and then home to spend vacation time with my son because he's off school right now. So yeah, it's going to be a busy week. Lots of coffee.
Dude, being in this business for so many years, what are some of the lessons you've learned, whether they be good or bad?
Don't read your own reviews. That's the one thing. And never scroll down to the comments in blabbermouth. That's one thing, and it's not just me that says that. There has been the big name musicians, but people like Aerosmith have even said it. I think at some point. No, never read the comments on that page. And also, if you do get a bad review, so what? It doesn't matter. Really, don't take it to heart. I mean, there's some with my radio show. We are quite brutal on there. Metal Breakfast Radio. We totally make fun of bands that are, well, we just make fun of bands basically. we're obnoxious and a little bit drunk at the time, but it's all in good-natured humour.
Right.
And the amount of bands have written to us saying, "How could you say that about us?" And I've written back saying, "You're in the wrong business, mate. If you can't take a little bit of criticism from us in a fun way, then give up the guitar and take up knitting. You know, just get out of the music business."
You know, Dave, that's the whole thing. These bands don't consider the source that it's coming from. These comments are coming from. You know what I mean? It's not like they're coming from the president of the Metal Music Union. It's coming from some probably 16-year-old freaking kid living in with his parents. You know what I mean? Or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And people get so bent out of shape. And yes, I've actually seen some bands on Blabbermouth saying not to listen to Blabbermouth. You know what I mean? They're like, the same thing you're saying, but you know, like you said, we're not going to mention any names, but there are some pretty big names that really get bent out of shape when people say shit about them on Blabbermouth. And not kids. These aren't kids. These are like bands that have been around, and I'm like, just do your thing and have a good time, you know? If there was no internet, you would never know. You know what I mean? What these people, which was kind of the nice things about the days there weren't internet. It was less for you to worry about and less for you to try to correct in yourself because you are reading into all these things. But internet's good too because it's like the best thing for free promotion in the world. I don't care what anybody says about how shitty social media is. It's shitty depending on what you use it for. If you just use it for band promotion, it's not pretty shitty. But if you mix in your band promotion with all this other stuff that you know people are going to disagree with, it's going to be shitty. You know, you got to take it for what it is. And what the main thing it is free.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're paying for anything that you're going to get upset about, you know? You're participating in something that you're going to get upset about.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's our social media blurb for the day.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel about it as well. It's free and it's fun, so just get on with it.
And you can quit whatever you want, and you don't have to, you know, whatever. It drives me nuts. So anyway, speaking about social media, you're pretty accessible on social media. So if people want to learn about you and what's going on with your projects and what have you been up to, is Facebook like the best place for people to go to? Because you're involved with a lot of projects, Dave.
Yeah, all my bands are connected there, all the projects I'm doing. I don't update very much on those, but I really ought to now, because right now I'm almost at the friends list limit. You have like 5,000.
Right.
And I tend to. There's a few that people who just don't interact with me, and I'll eventually find them out, and I'll just sort of have to let them go because there is a queue of people waiting to join up to access my profile.
Right.
But there's also pages, and I post to that as well quite often, especially all the music related stuff. And we'll be doing more so in the immediate future. So it is. And I do say Facebook would be the best place. I'm also on Twitter, but I rarely use that. In fact, Twitter's mainly just connected to my Instagram, so everything on Instagram goes there because I'm on Instagram as well.
And you did say you guys are still doing your breakfast radio show.
Yeah, it's Metal Breakfast Radio. We do that as well. It's even less often than ever now. I'm just so busy. I don't even get time to upload old shows anymore because we put out a lot of repeats on the weeks that we don't air any new material. But we've got some in the can. We're ready to roll with them. I've just got to edit them a little. And hopefully next week, the next weekend coming, we'll get something out.
And it's like you said, those are a lot of fun for people that want to get entertained.
Yeah, you sort of, whatever we say, take it with a pinch of salt, and don't take us too seriously because we don't take ourselves seriously at all. We make fun of each other, we'll make fun of the music, and we'll have guests come in and we'll make fun of them as well. So It's all good, clean.
Oh
Well, it's
yeah,
not that
it's,
clean,
it's
actually.
fun. It's a great show. It's fun. And now, is there anything else that we forgot to mention, David, that we want to get out there?
I can't think right now. I'm fully unprepared for this conversation today.
I think we got everything kind of out there for everybody, that at least that's going on at the moment.
Yeah.
As soon as we get off, I'm sure somebody else will want you to do something for them, but that's okay, because now that we got you back out here, we'll probably be talking to you in another 6 months. Like, we like to keep up with you, because in 6 months you'll probably have a whole library worth of shit that you did again.
Yeah, there will be actually. I believe there's going to be the new Benediction album should be ready by then. Whether or not it'll be out, I don't know, but we'll be talking about it.
Well, and you could also start telling us about, being out there with Benediction and meeting the fans and all that kind of stuff, because that'll be kind of fun stories, because people are very, very excited for this. I mean, it's one thing when a band gets a new member that that comes from another band, but when they get a member coming back from a band, it's kind of an exciting thing, so we're all pretty excited. And I know, especially over in Europe, where they're really super active with touring and doing shows and stuff, people are really, really excited too. So okay, so we're going to look forward to that in about 6 months. And there you all go, David Ingram back in Benediction. Like I said, we all look forward to seeing him with the band. And as always, David, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, and all the best to you with Benediction and all your other projects.
Thank you so much, Jay. It's always a pleasure being on here. Thank you. I really appreciate it.